Dr. Mukwege, welcome. It's an honor to have you on our show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure for me to be here.
You are the founder of Panzi Hospital in Bukavu, that's eastern Congo. How many victims of rape have you seen in your hospital since you work there?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about the number because I think that if the number was very important, I think that we should already get a solution. But today we already treat more than 70,000 women.
70,000
victims of
women.
Sexual violence, yes.
And there's, of course, that's an enormous number.
Absolutely.
How do you cope with that? How do you keep going?
It's so hard, to see that all the women coming at the hospitals are destroyed by men. And since now, more than 20 years, and we are just trying to show the world what is happening in this area, but we don't have really a response to stop this violence. And for us, really, I can say that the strength of women is one of the things keeping us go on to do what we are doing.
The strength of the women, that's also the title of your book. It's called The Power of Women.
Sure.
These women, what is the power of these women?
Yeah, when they come at the hospital, most of the time you have impression that they will never overcome their trauma. But the way that they are coping with this trauma and restart a new life, not only for themselves, but taking care also for their children, the community, to be even agent of change in their own community, and leaders. I think that this is so touching me because when their rape is a way to destroy them physically and mentally.
Yes.
But after to be treated in my hospital, I have impression that most of them really become very strong and really it's a power.
Yes. There's, of course, the medical side to it. These women are injured in a terrible way. And there's also the psychological aid you're giving in your treatment, from pain to power.
Exactly. This is what we develop at Panzi Hospital. At the beginning, we start to treat them physically. But after a few months, we just discovered that this was not enough. So we add at our treatment the psychological treatment. And when they're really good physically and mentally, they can start really to get hope. There you can see that the big problem is how to go back in their own community when they are rejected by the family, rejected by the community, because we raped. And there we start a new pillar, and this pillar is a socio-economical support to give women to be autonomous.
But what you're saying, in fact, is that these women are punished twice. I mean, first they are raped, and then they are rejected by family or community.
Yeah, this is sad to say, but this is a reality. When they are raped, most of the time, they are rejected by the community. And I think what we are really trying to do is to rebuild the new life for all the women coming at the hospital. And with these three pillars, when they become autonomous, there you can see that they become really very strong. And the last pillar is justice.
Yes.
Because when they are enough strong, what they are asking us is to support them to go to justice.
Right.
And it's 4 pillars that we are using in the hospital, really to support women.
Yes, and this is what you write about in a marvelous way in your book. But you always write there in this book about your life. And I want to talk about that for a short instance, because what is your life like these days? I understand from your book that you had to give up in Congo most of your freedom.
Yeah, you know, when you are talking about rape and perpetrators are free and most of them come from the army, so you put your life, yourself in danger. And I think that now it's more than 15 years that I'm a target of different armed groups In 2012, the attempt on my life. And today I'm living in the hospital under the security of the UN police who are giving us security at the hospital. So it's really very dangerous to talk about this question, especially when you are seeking justice for victims.
Yes. As you say, there has been an attempt to kill you. Do you fear for your life or for the life of your family?
Of course. You know, in 2012, I was obliged to leave my country because when they attacked me at my house, they killed one of my friends and my daughters. They took them in hostage, and this was a terrible thing for my family and for myself to see my friend killed in front of my children and myself. So at this time, we decided to leave the country.
Was there ever a moment when you thought, I'm not able to keep going on?
Yeah, at this moment, really, I thought that my place was not there because what I'm trying to do was to just help women, to treat them. And I could not understand why my life should be in danger like that, and especially when they killed this friend. I just feel that it was enough. I could not go on.
What made you decide to go back to Congo?
Yeah, there really, it's a story of women again. I was in Boston when women wrote a letter to the president of Congo asking him to bring me back. They didn't get any answer. So they wrote to the Secretary General of the UN. They didn't get any answer. So at the end, they decided that if no one wants to support us to get our doctor back, we'll do it ourselves. They decided to start to sell fruit and vegetables, and each Friday to bring $50 at the hospital. And the $50 for all these women, they don't have $1 per day for themselves, but they could sacrifice $50 to bring me back. When I got this news, I just thought that it's just a good idea, but they will never succeed to do it. But when they came 3 times with $50 at the hospital, and I get information, then I just feel that I don't have choice.
You had to go back.
Exactly, and I decide.
And that's the power of women.
Exactly. I think that women, when they decide to make things happen, they are able to do it. And this, for me, was an example of a power, because my decision was clear that I will never come back in a country where really I'm under threat, and they already killed one of my friends. But the women decide, and I didn't get any choice.
So you went back.
Yeah.
And more than 25 years now, that's really very sad. Congo is entangled in a civil war. At a certain moment, you realized that's also in your book, that rape is also a weapon of war. It's a war tactic.
Exactly. I think that rape is really a method of war. And if you can see how rape is done in my country, and it's not in my country, in many civil wars in the world. For example, in Congo, to rape women in front of their family, their husband, the community, it's just a way not only to destroy women physically, but also to destroy her mentally, and all the community. It's a way to destroy the fabric of the society.
Right. Now, there's a documentary, The City of Joy, about your work, and there in this documentary there's this remarkable map. This one, what do we see here on this map?
Yeah, exactly. We did a study at Panzi Hospital, and we tried to just understand where women we are treating at the hospital are coming from. And what we discovered was that where we have mine, it's where also we have all these armed groups who are fighting to get the control of this mine. And it was a place where women we are treating at the hospital we're coming from.
Yes, so where the mines are, there the rapes are.
Exactly. There is a connection.
And these mines, we have to talk about that. These mines are, what is being mined there is cobalt and coltan and gold and silver. And it's minerals used for your iPhone, right?
Exactly.
So, in fact, maybe you could tell us something about that, because these mines are the places where these rapes take place.
Yeah.
Why is it connected? Who is behind it?
Yeah, you know that when we have this situation, so no one have control on this mine. This mine is controlled by armed groups who are exploiting it, and they can export it without paying any tax. And it's just a business, a dirty business that all these armed groups who are in this area are doing. And all this mine is landing in our telephone, cars, and so on.
Yes.
So it's a way to get all this equipment cheap, but I think that it's cheap, but we are getting it on the body of women.
So these minerals, cobalt, coltan, are essential minerals, and it's about power, it's about money, it's vital interest for large companies, for instance, who make phones.
Exactly, and I think that this really is a big question that we should address. All of us, we need telephone, we need to get electric cars, but we can get it clean. And it's possible to get it clean.
How? How can we do that?
Yeah, I think that all these minerals can be exploited without using children, without destroying women, without destroying also the communities where these mines are. I think that it's possible to work in the way that this mine can be exploited without doing all these bad things. But if you can see the life of children in this mine, is incredible. You can't believe that really we can see this kind of things and don't act.
You say there should be a way, but there is in your country no powerful government. There is corruption. There has been a civil war going on for more than 25 years. What is the way out?
Yeah, I think the big problem in my country, as you said, is the lack of, we don't have the rule of law. So it's like a jungle. And I can say that the corruption, each armed group can just take control of a large area and exploit it. Yeah. And there is a connection between also the neighbor countries who are supporting all these armed groups.
But what should be done?
I think that there is really many things that can be done. And I think the first things, you know that in Congo, in 25 years, more than 6 million of people were killed. And at my own hospital, at just one place, I treat more than 70,000 women who were raped with extreme violence.
Yes.
Today we have 5 million of Congolese people who are living in the refugee camp or IDPs. So I think that the international community can really support with justice, international justice. And this is really needed. Today, our advocacy is to ask to get a special tribunal for Congo. And this is possible. We can't understand why 6 million of people can be killed, and sometimes even the people who are behind all this crime against humanity or crime, even sometimes it can be even a crime of genocide, why they are free and they are getting red carpet in many countries.
So there should be at least a special tribunal about Congo, is what you say.
Exactly. I think that if really we want to stop these things, we need that all these people who are responsible of these crimes to respond to their the crime.
Still, we want a green society, right? Here in Europe, we have the Green Deal. We will need more phones, we will need more batteries, we will need more things like that for the Green Deal. Our EU Commissioner Frans Timmermans, he's responsible for implementing this Green Deal, electric cars. He will be our guest next week. Do you have a message for him?
Yeah, I think that this deal is really needed for all of us. But we can't do this dream and just forget Congo, because you know that Congo is producing 70% of coltan and cobalt, please. Cobalt and lithium is needed to make batteries. So we can't get this transition, climate transition, without Congo. So I think that if really the world wants to get a solution where we can say that human rights is respected, we need to solve this question of exploitation of the minerals of Congo by the group armies and companies who don't have any ethics in what they're doing. So my message is clear. We need the Green Deal, but we can't do it without solve the problem of Congo, where 70% of cobalt is coming from. Right. And we know that this cobalt and the coltan are exploited in destroying women and children. This is not acceptable.
The power of women. This is what you are about. This is what your book is about. Maybe they are the new leaders of Congo.
Yeah, you know that the question of equality is everywhere. I think that in your country you did very well, but you still have things that we can do to get this equality. And in Congo, I think that we are doing nothing for this question. And for me, it's just to lose 50% of our capacity to lead the country and get the country to be developed. And we can't develop it without really bringing women on the platform and give them the possibility to just give what they can give to develop the country. Most of the time I'm saying that the economy of Congo is on the shoulder of women. You can see that women are working very hard, but we can't ask them to work very hard to produce, and at the end, when it comes to distribute, they are not there. No. So we need to put them on the table when we are taking decision, and this we are so far off it.
I wish you lots of success with your good work, and thank you very much for being here, Dr. Mukwege.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you.
Bedankt voor het kijken. Vond je dit een goed gesprek? Vergeet dan niet te abonneren. Een like of een reactie achterlaten kan natuurlijk ook. Of bekijk een van de andere interviews op dit kanaal.